our first television, and I realized that I didn't like television. I couldn't figure out what it was about it, but I didn't like it. I watched it, but there was something about it that just didn't sit right with me. As I got older, I realized what it was. It was this frequency that came from it. And at the time, there wasn't digital. It was back in the 60s, so this wasn't digital. This was analog, right? But it had this frequency that irritated my nervous system, right? And I didn't like it, so I didn't watch it. So when I was 17, I vowed not watching television anymore. Just because it doesn't make any sense. I'm sitting there watching a box. This stuff is not real. Um, and so, but when I was 14, I watched the Watergate scandals. Right, I would sit there every day. Well, I think the trial went on for like 2 weeks. I watched it every day, and I didn't move. We had digital television back then, so I had to, whatever I do, I had to wait till the commercials came on, and I had to go do that, and then come back and watch this hearing, right? But I learned a whole lot about the human psyche by watching that Watergate scandal, Watergate hearings, and so it taught me to really look at what was going on, behind, because I could see, I seen that when North, when he was testifying, whenever he would lie, he would have this tick. He had a tick in his face, right? And so it was interesting as I watched that, right? But then I was watching another movie. It was Paul Newman and I can't think of his name, but anyway, J. Scott, something say C. Scott or something like that, and instead of me actually just watching the movie, as it was presented, I was watching how they were putting the movie together. I watched how Paul Newman had missed his lines, and his co-actor was trying to get him to remember the lines right in the movie. They didn't cut it out, right in the movie, and so he caught it, and he didn't. So then I started to wonder why. Well, why did they have that lamp sitting over there, and what is that over all about? So I started watching television and watching things from that perspective. Why is this there and not that? Why, what's going on? Why would you say that instead of this? Why would you not say this? All of that. So I started asking questions, right? And so I say that to say that when you're watching television, even though it's designed to program your mind, one of the ways out of that programming is to be an active part in it, play an active role in watching that particular program, whatever it is you're watching, especially when it comes to children. You know, ask them questions about what they think is going on or their opinion about it. It takes them out of that that state where they can just sit there and their brain is null and they can be programmed. It puts them into their critical thinking area of their brain, and then they start to look at it from a completely different perspective. So, but like for example, my thing is like if you're watching a movie or a television program that's dealing with a natural catastrophe, right? And people have lost their homes and things of that nature. My thing has always been to ask myself, what would I do in that situation? Not just sit there and watch it from, ooh, 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 look at that, what's going on in the movie. What would I do if I were in that situation? Okay, how would I, if a tsunami came and I didn't have any shelter, then what would I do? I'm looking around at the resources in the movie. Okay, I would get this, I would do that, and I would do this, and I would go up here, and I would. But if you're not looking at it from a critical analysis perspective, you're sitting there being programmed because there's so many subliminals going on in the background that it's you have no idea. I remember once I was driving on the expressway. And this was years ago, before they started with this whole organ donor thing, before they really started the harvesting thing. That was the preempt to the harvesting, the trafficking and harvesting thing on a higher level. 'Cause they've been doing it all along. But when I turned onto the expressway on this ramp, the billboard said, I seen the subliminal. And the subliminal on the billboard was, you are an organ donor. Okay? But once you went past that particular mark on that ramp, right? The billboard said, be an organ donor. Okay? The subliminal was, you are an organ donor. But if you, but so, and that's, and your subconscious mind picked that up, but your physical eye seen the be an organ donor. So when you look at it from a critical analysis perspective, you start to see what's really going on. you know Otherwise you're just sitting there literally being programmed into the next level of manipulation, because whatever program you just watched, it was a program for another program to lap on top of that, and it just keeps going. So so yeah, I say that to say that it's wise to be critical when you're watching anything, a movie, television, whatever. Cartoons tell you actually more than the movies, because caricatures are easier to produce than and they can get a whole lot more subliminals into that than they can, well, now with digital it's a little different, but than just regular. So thanks for watching, and this is a longer video. All my other videos are shorts. So thank you for watching, and if you have not subscribed, please do, if you find the content interesting. Thank you. Bye-bye.